So following that, people have come to the hot seat and talked about their concern with conscious subconscious or unconscious beliefs. And your general answer is if it's not conscious, you don't really need to worry about it. It's not a player.
Anything that you're not feeling emotion around isn't a big enough vibration that it's affecting you much. And if you are feeling something around it, it is not unconscious.
Right, but
that was a really good answer. Did you hear it?
The place, though, where it seems, to me at least at this point, is the notion of an unconscious belief. I understand what you're saying about the whole how you're feeling about it, but the belief per se, I can't really think of anybody that will walk around going, I'm a loser, I'm not worthy, that those words would be going in their head. We're right, but
here's the thing though, let us just put one word in here right in the middle of your question and then continue to ask your question, it's a good one, with this word in the middle of it. Relativity, relationship with source. So let's go back to your original statement. Could someone walk around with an unconscious belief that is affecting them? Well, yeah, because vibrations do have momentum. And so if you've got a vibration and you're not aware of it, it still has attraction power. And so it is going to get big enough that at some point you are going to feel it in its relationship to source. So the more often you meditate, or the more often you appreciate, the more sensitive you are to that pure positive energy, the more those beliefs that are off will feel off at earlier, more subtle stages. If you're not tuned in deliberately very often, then a belief could get quite a bit of momentum before you're even aware of it, before you do even feel it. So see what we're getting at? The more tuned in you are, the more sensitive you are to any what you want to call unconscious beliefs, and we'll call them beliefs that aren't big players yet.
But couldn't they be big players though?
Eventually they might be, but if you're sensitive at all, you'll feel them when they come. So the key is knowing what to do when you feel them, knowing what negative emotion means. It means I believe something that, in your words, in this premise that you've set up here, God doesn't mean. I'm believing something God doesn't believe. I'm believing something that source doesn't believe. Thus the negative emotion that I have when I focus there.
So let me drill down a little further. So I'm sitting in an environment, regardless of where it is, but I really live in amazing comfort. No matter where I am, the environment is always, and I can even acknowledge to myself, I'm sitting here, I'm comfortable, all really is well, and I'm not connecting with a thought that anyone would describe as negative. I'm unworthy, I'm a loser, whatever. I'm not doing that. But at the same time, I'm still connecting with a negative emotion, whether it's sadness or fear or
then stop and ask yourself what thought precipitated it.
And if you can't identify that thought,
then it'll come back later in a stronger way. But it is really unusual at your level of sensitivity that when you feel negative emotion, you can't pin it to some train of thought. Just listen to the stream of thoughts that's been going through your mind for a moment. What was I thinking about? What was I thinking about? And usually you'll find, oh, there it is. It's like touching around and finding a sore spot. Oh, there it is. There it is. And then just acknowledge the lack of compatibility the source feels about it and why.
Okay. So, but is it beneficial then to further explore that?
Esther is watching a television program the other night, and it's a program that she knows is dicey, because it will entertain her. It often does. It will annoy her. It sometimes does. And sometimes it will get on topics that she just doesn't want to hear. So she turns it on and she listens and she laughs and she listens and she laughs. And then he says, my next guest is, and she went click. Because she knows what that conversation is going to be. She knows that it's going to be a conversation that she's going to protest a little bit. And she doesn't want to protest that conversation. She doesn't need to. The world doesn't need her to join sides and push against with them. She knows that if it doesn't feel good to her, it can't be of any value to anyone else. So it's sort of like that, only catching it at even more early stages. When a thought starts coming into your mind, well, is this a beneficial thought? How does this thought serve me? Recently, we used these words. And Esther and others have been playing with them ever since, because it just wakes you up to the power of this moment. So something occurs in your experience. Maybe it's an emotion, maybe it's an experience with someone else, maybe it's a message through your email or on your phone. Something has come into your experience. So your statement to yourself is, why this now? Why this now? Well, the first answer is obvious. Law of attraction brought it to you. But why did law of attraction bring this to me? Have I been seeking clarity about this? Is this something I've been wondering about? Is this something that I've been worried about? Is this something that I like? Is this something that I've been reveling in? In other words, asking the question, why this now, will help those situations become more obvious to you, clear to you.
Without the risk of kind of dragging you down, sort of like asking, why me?
Why this now? Why is law of attraction presenting this to me now? Which is the same as saying, what's active in my vibration that makes this logical now? And is it something that's serving me? Because something that you don't want will present itself to you right now. It's like thinking that you have forgotten something. So you go back into the house and you hadn't forgotten it at all, but you'd left the water running and didn't realize it. Why this now? So you received an impulse that got you back into the house because you didn't want to leave the water running. That's just an example, because the universe is always looking out for you. This is the premise that we want you to begin with. It's all for you. It's all for you, and it's all good for you. And the more you say, why this now? Why this now? Why this now? Why this now? The more you will begin to recognize that's why. That's why, because this helped me to do this, and this helped me to do this, and this got me clear about this, and this helped me with that, and this helped me with that. Why this now? And pretty soon the answer is going to be, because I'm worthy, and because I'm good, and because I like good things, and because I'm powerful, and because I'm important, and because Source loves me, and because good things come to me, and because things are always working out for me. That's why this now. No matter what the this is, why this now? It's always for your advantage. Always for your advantage. Never because you are a negative creator doing dastardly deeds to yourself. It's never about that. Why this now? It's for clarification. It's for rejuvenation. It's for resourcing yourself. It's for, in some cases, for your validation. It's for your recognition of the good that is coming to you.
So in the midst of this conversation, I've noticed water dripping from the ceiling, one of which hit my leg. Why this now?
Well, it's been dripping all morning. And as Esther stood here twice, it dripped on her, and she thought, that is so refreshing. That is so refreshing.
Okay, I'll take that. One thing I'd like to ask is about the notion of what you talk and have talked about already.
You see, if you weren't comfortable with your feet flowing out like that, you wouldn't have felt it. Others have sat there with their feet up under them, but you're all relaxed. This is where you're comfortable being. And so why this now?
Are you asking me, is that, or just rhetorical?
No, we're just explaining.
Oh, okay. Okay.